of approving the minutes? It's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm abstaining because I was absent. Committee reports we are not doing tonight. So the superintendent's report, although I just want to take a minute first.
Okay.
Okay. I just have, this is our last public meeting.
This is my last public meeting. You're coming back.
Our, as this particular grouping.
Yes.
Yes, I am coming back.
Damn.
So I just wanted to acknowledge it with like a little token something.
Oh, my gosh.
This isn't all for you.
Oh, good, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to give her a gift from the board and some other people too. Hang on. Let's see. This one. Okay. Sorry, there's already jams in the bag.
The blue.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, we had to hide them. All right, I have it now. It's all under control. It's dripping. Maria, this is for you on behalf of the Board of Education. We appreciate your leadership, all that's been accomplished in the time that you've been here. I think it's been a great run, and there's so much that you've done and brought to the district. I just want to wish you all the best in the future. I know I've said this before, but it's worth saying again. We're very grateful, and best of luck. I also want to acknowledge somebody who will not be with us beginning next school year. Our colleague, Lynn James. I just have one more little bouquet. That's the back of the bouquet. So we'll put that. And this is for our student, Isabella Basil. Sorry. And we so appreciate your presence. And best of luck to you. Now it's time for the superintendent's report.
See, now you broke the rhythm here.
Sorry.
Just before we go any further, in regard to this, I thank the entire board. I thank truly this community for giving us the support and the confidence, the trust that I hope we built in moving forward in this district. I have been so fortunate to work with an amazing group of teachers, teacher assistants, custodians, administrators, central office administrators, parents, and board members, because without that, none of this would have been possible. I know we didn't always agree, but I thank you for hearing me out. I know we had discussions about things that we wanted to move forward with, and I know that as I leave and Alexa takes over, this district will continue to move in the right direction. And the reason I know that is because I know how committed all of you, the community, and the administrators, teachers, instructional staff, all staff that make a school, a district what it is, are so committed to our children in this community and those who are yet to come. So I look forward to hearing fantastic things, and I thank you for the support over the years. So thank you. It wasn't on the agenda. But now here's one of the most favorite parts of my job. Several years ago, I got an email, and I sent this email to our then math coordinator. And the math coordinator, I said to her, can we make this happen? And it was an opportunity that is supported by the board to give our students opportunities outside the classroom. But this one started in the classroom. Can we participate in something called First in Math, a competition that speaks to children's math abilities, but also their problem-solving abilities and how they can solve problems together? I have never seen anything like it. The students that we have watched compete have been, to say amazing is just not enough. To say extraordinary, it still does not meet the correct language in understanding their abilities. And so, and is she here tonight? No. There is a particular teacher in our district who got a notice, and she, the first year, said, we have 3 winners, 3 students who competed against 8 other counties and schools, and as a result, they are #1 in the mathematics competition for this region, for the region we compete with. And so they would be going, our 2nd graders, would be going to the First in Math competition in Albany. When I saw these 3 children performing these math skills, it was, without question, the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And each year, for the last 3 years, we have had students who have qualified for the state finals. And I think the worst we did was 2nd place, okay? This year, once again, this same teacher came forward. She emails me now the minute she gets the result, and she said, we did it again. And I think each year our students get even more and more, not just capable, amazing. I did speak with the creator of this math competition, and he said, in order to qualify, you have to have 3 students, all the highest ranking, the highest score in this particular test in these districts combined. So just to speak to the instruction, and I'm not just going to say math, I know Mr. Allison, you're here, but the instruction in regard to problem solving, cooperative problem solving, and mathematics, I didn't forget you, Mr. Allison, it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And so at this point in time, I'm going to introduce the proud principal of that school that actually holds that teacher, but even more importantly, supports those students. So, Ms. Erin, could you come on out? Yeah. Okay.
So yes, to say I am a proud principal is an understatement. I have Anthony, Diego, and James here. They would like to introduce themselves because they are incredibly mature, which we learned over the weekend in Albany, and just so well-spoken, and I would like them to be able to introduce themselves.
Okay. Could you give them the other microphone? Because we don't have a step stool. Okay.
Hi, my name is Anthony Sirica.
Hi, my name is James Baxter.
Hi, my name is Diego.
Okay.
So they have Miss Crumlich.
Come over here, stand right over here and face the audience so that your parents can take pictures for you, okay?
They
I'm
have
gonna
Miss
come
Crumlich,
around.
and Miss Crumlich would call me several times a week to come upstairs to look at the amazing work they were doing. They worked so well together. They had to cooperate. The way they speak to each other, it wasn't just about the math, it was the way they treated each other. And then we were able to watch the competition as we were like sitting in our seats, biting our nails. And to watch them and the kids at this competition, the way that they treat each other, even if they disagreed about something, the way they talked it out, it was just an amazing experience. And I am so incredibly proud of these three boys. They scored second in the entire New York State region, and we couldn't be happier. We are so, so incredibly proud of you.
Now, as they receive their certificates, I just want you to understand that they have to complete a matrix. And they actually end up completing 3 matrices over a period of time. Each round is timed, and they have to make the sides of the matrix add, subtract, multiply, or divide to the same numbers, the entire matrix. It's 24, 32, and 10?
No,
Okay.
10 groups.
10,
They're given 24 cards, 30 cards, and then 36 cards.
30, and then 36. Okay, thank you for that. No, it's okay. But the next part of that is that they must explain to the judges the strategy in which they came together and solved these matrices. So this is not just their mathematical skills. This is explaining how they work together and how it all comes together. These are second graders. They're 8th graders in this competition as well. It goes up to 8th grade. Now, I want to take 1 second. And Mr. Soraka, could you get up, please? Yes, Mr. Soccer player, get up. Okay, so one of our students that participated had a brother who was cheering him on, mom and dad too, but you know, you're not as important right now. And that young man said, well, you know, if you had a club, I would do this too. This is really something that I wish we were able to do. And we spoke to somebody who was helping to tell us where to go watch and just really kept an eye on us because we were a crazy group. But she talked about having a club in her school and how she worked at each grade level. And so I spoke with Mr. Allison, and I spoke with Mr. Icolano, and I did speak with our business official because she needs to know this too. But I am looking forward to hearing about more students involved in this problem-solving equation for the future. So thank you for your input, and I hope we see you. I'll go up to Albany. Don't worry, I'll get in. You know I know the man. But I hope to see you and these young people and others at different grade levels for the future. Thank you so much for all the hard work you put into preparing. I'm getting into this picture. Let's give these children a hand. Parents, hopefully it'll be a sunny day next year. Truly a wonderful experience. Okay. Now, the board just thanked me for some of the things that we've done over the years. Again, thank you to the board for their support as we presented what we felt the district could benefit from. And again, thank you to the community for their support as well. But we put an energy performance project into place, and as a result, I'm sorry? Oh, you want me to do another recognition? Yes, okay. All right. Ahmed, I'm going to ask you to wait 1 minute because these children may have to go back to, okay. Let me just, so math is one of my favorite subjects. They know this by now. I'm not allowed to sit too close to the judges when the math beat is happening at both Connolly and Landing because I try to come up with the answer, and I can ring the bell faster than some of the judges sometimes, but this I'll miss. But when the fifth grade comes together in both buildings and has their playoff, and then come together for the district-wide math beat at grade 5, I'd like to congratulate David Youssef. David, are you here? Yes. So let me tell you that also each question is timed. He was the #1 fifth grader in his school, went up against Connolly School, and we're boasting about Landing, aren't we, Miss Dr. Dashner? But David was the champion, and I have to tell you, those questions were getting harder and harder every round. I thought we were going to be there all day, but finally David came up the winner. So David, congratulations for such a great job. Okay. All right, so one more time, I'm going to tell you about an email and a former colleague that called me and that emailed me and said, do we have an opportunity to bring students from your TV studio courses together to a competition called BASH? I said, well, you're all the way out east, even past Smithtown, way out east. Okay, he was in Amagansett, I think. Southold, I'm sorry, yes. And we said, we are all the way in Glen Cove, how are we gonna get there? He wanted so badly for us to come together and give these students the opportunity that he sent us transportation. And Mr. Barry, let's be honest, you were a little concerned. And I love when you're concerned because the kids came back in first place, okay? But from then, this competition has gotten bigger and bigger. And this year it was at Hofstra University. And we again thank you, Mr. Barry, for having them compete in this. And so the BASH first place, Best Human Interest Story, and these are news stories, Sarah Ayaku. Did I say it right? No. Okay, she's going to come and tell me how to say it. And Jake Leibowitz, where are you? Come on, Jake. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, no, she's this. Okay, wait a minute. And then, all right, wait. There's 2 awards. Okay, so I need Sarah and Jake. Jake and Sarah. Okay. There you go. There you go. Come up here. Let's take pictures. Mr. Barry, why don't you come up and take a picture also?
Wow, guys, I'll get you along first.
Really loud voice. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see them on the news, you're going to see them on social media, in a positive manner. I'm sure we're going to see these young people continue their education, but also always stay loyal to GCTV. So let's give them another hand. Now, we can't always be first place, but because the competition is getting tougher, there are more students involved, this competition is getting bigger, but we don't go past third place. And so, third place sports feature, Sarah, did you sit down? Come back here. And Michaela Chestnut, is she here? Michaela? There you go. Sarah, we're going to give you another one, okay? But you're going to share this one for the picture. Is that okay? Okay. So there were 50 different schools this year, Mr. Barry just told me, and the first year I think there were only 7 or 8. So we have really grown this competition, but we are still on the top of the competition. I want you to understand something. A number of years ago, one of the students that graduated from Glen Cove that was part of GCTV that majored in finance at Binghamton decided that he did not want to get his master's in finance or MBA, but he decided that he wanted to be on TV. He wanted to report the sports or the news. Through the work that he did at GCTV and an affiliation we have with a local TV reporter, news reporter, he is now the sports reporter on the weekend at Albany. Is that right? So again, just whatever your interests are, work really hard at it, and I hope all your dreams come true to all of you. Now we're changing hats. The Student of the Year, oh, you already recognize this. The Student of the Year for the Regents Award and got $500 scholarship, Natalia Janesco. Is that right? Lastly, about these students who have participated in opportunities outside of school, outside of the classroom, it takes hard work. It takes even greater commitment to participate and do their very best. So it's not just about getting a grade. It's about doing well and showing your talents. And I am so proud of the way you represent, all of you, the way you represent Glen Cove. Thank you so much for all you do for this district as students and as future community members. All right. Now, back to my energy performance contract. So we investigated options to bring the district some renovations in a way that would save us some monies and still improve our educational environments. And so at this point in time, we have completed phase 1, the first of maybe many different EPC projects for the future. And so, Ahmed, could you please give us an idea of all that was done? Because I want the community to understand that we valued their trust, and as a result, they have helped us improve our schools. So, Amit.
Hello. Okay. Good. Thank you very much for that introduction, Dr. Rihanna. Again, the math group, congratulations. Maybe there'll be engineers one day. We need good engineers. We really need good engineers because you can't get work like this done without smart, dedicated engineers. Thank you very much to the board, to Dr. Rihanna, the administration. I'm here to give you a recap of the journey we have embarked on about 2.5 years ago. And as Dr. Rihanna introduced me, the district was looking for opportunities to improve the community's access to the district's facilities, the quality of lighting, energy efficiency, and comfort in the buildings, but also looking in avenues that are available to alleviate the pressure on taxpayer and the debt as opposed to the other vehicles available as a bond project. And after their rigorous vetting process, and they selected Ecosystem and they put their faith in us to begin this journey together. And I'm happy to be here to report on its progress, especially before Dr. Rihanna's departure. It's kind of timely. We didn't plan it that way, but it is what it is. So without further ado, gonna try the clicker. The green light. Nope, it's good, it's good, it's good. Thank you so much for attempting. I'll give a brief introduction as I just did, and the project at a glance, and I'll give some scope ideas and what was done in the project, and a very good photo summary of the spaces that staff and faculty may have noticed already, and give you a recap on incentives, financial performance, and what's ahead now that construction is done. We don't leave, we're partners. Now comes the performance and the guarantee and the monitoring of that work to make sure that all the benefits that you have put your faith in continue to accrue through operations. At a glance, that was the project that we started with. $405,000 was to be saved in energy and operations expenses to the district. The incentives that were contracted at the time based on the utility programs available to the district were $21,000. There's a nice story there to be had. And that's their prescriptive program, right? Like they say, if you replace X with Y, I give you X amount of dollars for one. Adheres to SCD's simple payback requirements, and that is the total performance of the project. So now that the project is done, once the solar is completely turned on, the district would be offsetting and reducing and eliminating 50% of its greenhouse gas emissions. It's pretty profound because you'll be producing a lot of your energy on site and you're offsetting a lot of carbon. Not to say that there isn't monetary values as well. This is a list of the major items that were done throughout the district. So it's not a simple isolated project. All these systems talk together. Solar upgrade, lighting, boiler and heating power plant, motor and pumping and distribution throughout the system and the buildings. Of course, ventilation, air quality, building management systems for controls, computer management, building envelope insulation. So basically you could think of the district really focused on what can we do for our community that can make us save more money, be a better classroom, be a better environment for students, and at the end of the day, not ask the taxpayer every time we have to do an improvement, hey, help us pay for it. So this was quite innovative and smart and in-depth. Again, a different way to present it, you could look at these numbers, and this is available on the website, the different impacts of each one of these measures, and you'll see some have a much bigger impact on, for example, the carbon impact of solar compared to the HVAC upgrades. As you could see, they all contribute in their own way and how they save money and environmental impact. I have Michael Watson with me, who a lot of people here know and recognize well. She was the project manager on site for a lot of the work that I just presented, and I asked her today to stay later, as she is always on site, but to be here as well to present some of the work and give the community a glimpse of what we have done. So, Michael?
Good evening, everybody. So I'm going to do a general overview of the work that was done in the district. As Ahmed mentioned, we did a solar installation. This was not done in every building, but we did install solar panels on Landing Elementary School, here at the high school, Gribben, and Connolly. Thank you. For lighting upgrades, I was heavily involved in this. We did lighting upgrades throughout all the buildings in the district. Overall, we had about a 40% decrease in energy use per fixture in each building. Overall, we did a one-for-one replacement. There were a few areas where we did decrease the number of fixtures for energy savings and for efficiency in the classrooms itself. Some rooms were overlit in terms of the number of fixtures. With the new LED lighting, we were able to reduce the number in some of the larger classrooms. The pictures you see here are I call it the Art Commons, right outside the auditorium. We did a ceiling replacement, and the music classroom, I forget if it's the chorus one or the opposite room, but we did ceiling replacements in each of those large classrooms, and we replaced ceiling fans, which was outside of our scope, but we wanted to make sure it was nice. Yeah, LED lighting. We did ceiling replacement only in the high school. So these are a couple of before and after photos. The top is the library, where half of the library was already LED. So we changed out the first half where you enter the library. And then the bottom photo is, again, the Art Common, where we did a ceiling replacement and replaced about 30 or so fixtures with, I want to say the total is 28. We went from 54 watts per fixture down to 20 watts per fixture there. This is the work we did in the locker room and the weight room area. The weight room had many fixtures that were not functioning properly. So we replaced those with LED linear strips, which I think look very nice. And the locker room as well, we reduced the number of fixtures and replaced with surface mount LED panels, again reducing from about 54 watts per fixture to 20 watts. And this is, I think it's room 128, where we also changed from surface mount lights on a drop ceiling to recessed 2x4 LED fixtures in the same ceiling, and again, reduced the number of fixtures and provided more light in, excuse me, in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Needless to say, I hope you can all appreciate the quality and enjoy the quality of lighting as we move forward with this. And a lot of these spaces, as Michael hinted to, required redesigning, and sometimes new layout of lighting, new arrangement of where the lighting goes. So the buildings needed love and care, and this was a good place, and the administration did this smartly. And in an EPC, you don't compromise on the quality of the work or selection of equipment, because it's not typical as to a bond project where you're competing for lowest competitive price. And this allows a district to always maintain quality of equipment and selection of equipment. So you're looking at the Victor's famous furnace boiler plant, which I don't know if any of you have ever seen it before it went away, but this is a monster of all monsters from ways back when. You could see right there, it states the new system, heating your buildings for your classrooms, runs at 92% efficiency compared to what it used to be before. The amount of work and bringing it up to code and ventilation, et cetera, was a feat, but I don't want to forget the administration, and through the transition, because we had a director of facility transition and business official transition, the you know, in my experience of 16 years, this is a very critical time where these type of projects which are committed to time, delivery, quality equipment, and you have to work outside of student hours, it is a time where sometimes the ball can drop and the transition period. I would like to say that this was pretty much without a hiccup, coordination between new staff and the departing staff, picking up right where we left off, ensuring that timely communication and coordination between the capital project and the performance project, because there were some areas and scope that required coordination. So needless to say, this is one of perhaps my favorite executions given the amount of variables and change throughout the project. More pictures and maybe the lighting here, if we dimmed it, would be clearer, but of course this is available online. New high efficiency condensing boilers, now we can rely on one boiler, and if we need a second, we can. We're not trapped to just one piece of equipment, and if it fails, we're stuck. More work was done on pumping, distribution, safety switch-off gears. Obviously the solar, all new equipment throughout the building with transformers to allow for feeding the district buildings, and then if there's excess, it goes to the grid and on the weekend. So the district now is a power producer for the community, but primarily for the district first, for the school district, for the students first, which we're very proud of. And some work was done throughout the roofs on air handling equipment, mechanical equipment, new roofing, roofing curbs, fixing things that were antiquated with perhaps some leak or damage from years ago. So a lot of fresh start on a lot of the district systems. Of course, not to forget, you could spend a lot of money and time on equipment that generate energy and generate heating and cooling, but if you don't have a well-insulated building, just like you do at your homes, then you're just spending money and letting it seep out of the walls and out of the windows. The district didn't skip a beat on that, and that was included to make sure that the money we spend in the building stays in the building and the energy is not lost. So this is one of also my favorites. You know, utility programs are always prescriptive, meaning they give you a list. If you change this motor for that motor, you get $50. And if you change this light for that light, you get $50. Well, when we did that at the beginning of the contract, it was $21,000 that the district would get in incentives. Just a quick drop-in for like ecosystems approach, we're a design build company, so we're not just a contractor. So as we started to redesign to prepare for build, we realized that some of the things we're doing interact together and actually generate better performance. So we would go back to the utility and say, we don't really think our application should be prescriptive. It should be more on the descriptive, which allows it to be an essay. So without any further ado, the contracted amounts were $21,000 in total. The secured amount to date, and I checked with the business office, is north of $195,000. And that was throughout the construction period. Every time we finished something, we brought the utility inspector and we showed him what we did compared to what was done on the documents, and then they would grant the district more money. And I believe the last year, the superintendent business predecessor of Ms. Khan was with the utility because they recognized this project as a project that exceeded their expectations, and they came here and did a presentation and a check demonstration. I believe the district might remember that. So now we start the construction is pretty much wrapped up. We're turning on solar systems now that the capital project gave us the go-ahead with the electrical interconnect. So we expect August to start monitoring and commissioning the energy savings. And we're in partnership for 3 years where my staff and your staff work together to ensure, should we run this plant more efficient? Should we increase the flow? Should we drop the temperature to ensure that we get the most out of it? And that continues on for 3 years. And I hope within those 3 years, the board, the administration will always reach out to us, get ideas, ask us if you have a capital project that you're considering, use that connection. Should I budget better? Do I add load? Do I consider a different design? And as Dr. Rihanna mentioned, the district has the opportunity now to further its advancement. When it's ready, when the board is ready, they can say, should we look at another EPC? Let's look at what we need in mechanical and upgrade and lighting to improve the quality of the classrooms and our students. We're here for 3 years. this will go on to improve the outcomes of this project. Non-contractual, but very attractive. The district so far, given the presidential climate that we're in, the Investment Recovery Act monies towards solar are still available. So, and the business office knows very well, and I'm in very close coordination, that the moment the utilities completes its inspection and turns on the solar, we would submit that paperwork to the federal government, and I am anticipating a $450,000 check from the Fed to the district, which is not used to build this project, so that is excess cash flow that the district would use to this general budget and plan for how to expend it. And I'm open for any questions. I really want to take a moment to say, from day one, Dr. Rihanna called me when we started construction, and there was a little union hiccup, and she said, Ahmed, I need you to take care of this. And today, here we are. So I'm really proud to work with this district, this board, this administration, and I really thank you all. And I'm always happy to take any of your questions. Thank you to you, and honestly to the community, because without the community's support at the end of the day, these projects wouldn't happen, right? So thanks to the community as well.
So Ahmed, we're not going to let you off the hook. We're working with you for at least the next 3 years. One of the things that Ahmed will bring to us as he goes through his work with us is that roof on a particular building at its end of life time frame, and could we install more of the solar panels, or what else can be efficiently improved in the district. I came to this district 12 years ago, and we had 5 fires from lights in 4 years. We had small gas leaks. We had just the boilers themselves could be another half an hour of conversation. But when you walk through the buildings and you see the changes in the classroom lighting and the gallery and the places where students gather, it just makes me so happy. And I have to tell you, we have some very appreciative young people also that are really happy to see the improvements in their buildings. So I thank you for the work, and I expect you to continue. And I can't wait to get that big $450,000 check.
I bet. I bet.
Okay. Thank you very much for that presentation. I'm actually very excited with the amount of savings that we have been saving and the monies that we are getting in from this project. I do just have a couple of questions. How often are solar panels checked to see if they're producing what they should be producing? And also, do you get an alert if a solar panel goes down, let's say within a storm, or if it just comes off of the connector?
Perfect. Thanks for the question. I'm going to reply to your comment, and I will answer your question as well. As far as how I would advise the district and the board, let's live now with the new systems, go through the first year of performance, tweak it, understand what we have and how it operates, and the staff is ensured, the maintenance staff, which I can't thank them enough, and Michael can tell you all about it, coordination, and they're eager to know how to run and how to use systems, because sometimes in our project we see resistance from existing staff on new technology. As soon as that transfer is happening within this year, we can start looking at classroom cooling through heat pumps, because New York State is incentivizing massive amount of dollars towards classroom cooling. And if done traditionally, that is a massive expense in capital bonds, but if it's done through a VRF system, which is called heat pumps, which is also supplemental heating, now you're really being smart about how you're going to cool. So there is the avenue for that. Your comment about the roof, precisely why we didn't do all the roofs, because everywhere we installed solar, we decided that we have to reseal and seam and warranty all the roofs. So there is an avenue for extended solar. And solar, I would advise to look at with new roof. Now, if I do that, I want to look at what incentives from IRA are available to fund it. So there is space for cooling upgrades, there is space for more power generation and roof improvements, and some more mechanical equipment that can be handled and taking care of cooling big things like the library, cafeteria, etc. So I hope that addresses your question, and as long as I honor our relationship even after your departure with this board, we can continue this journey and we can discuss that. Solar. Yes, because two variables are in play that will ensure that that takes place. One, I owe the district a 3-year of guarantee on performance. So me as a company, as a staff, we have alerts when we have the building management system has an alarm, the boiler plant has an alarm, flue gases coming out from the burner. If something happens, we get alarms, as well as your staff. So that ensures you have an engineering company and your staff on your facilities. The solar system, even the district has access to all sites online at any given time to see real-time production. And that is also explained and will be shared at a further date with the students of the district. We're going to do a presentation to how to learn what we did from an educational standpoint. What does it mean to generate power? How does it connect? How do you see it? Shadow, effects, lighting. So the solar system automatically will send alarms to both site, operator, and owner if there is a disconnect. And if one panel goes, there's a string, so it's immediately noticed. So to that respect, it's not like because it's on the roof and you don't see it, you don't know. Solar used to be more standalone, and a lot of people would maybe have it at their home and realize it's not working. Oh, it hasn't been working for 6 months. This is different. This is just-in-time production, so there are several things in place to ensure that it keeps producing. You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I just
All
have a
right, I
comment and
just-
a question, actually.
Oh,
You don't
go.
mind? Sorry. The conversation is so timely because we've been talking about, you know, the fact that it's becoming hotter and hotter outside this week and next, and we have testing going on, and also the mandates for us to keep cool spaces and stuff. So I'm glad you're doing this tonight. So we could expect in a year that maybe you'll come back and talk to us again, or I'd love to hear more about how we're progressing in the coming year.
The administration already about 3-4 months ago had this conversation with me and said, you know, state, cooling, classroom, what else can you do? And it's always nice to have that conversation coming to me as a design builder. And yes, we can. We can have that conversation, and we should at some point.
Yes.
But I'm not personally the type to push so much. I want the district to really live a few months with it,
Yeah.
finish that phase, see it in action, get comfortable with it, new administration, new facilities director is on board, and then we can discuss it. But in the background, I have full design sets of the district, I understand your baseline, I have your energy usage, so when the district is ready for that conversation, I'd be very happy to do so.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Ahmed, you and I spoke various times over the years, and Victoria and now Teresa and Victor and now Dan are staying in touch. But I have to say that your staff, and Michael, get up, please. She has been fantastic.
She really is. And she
Thank
just,
you for all your kindness. You have worked professionally, and I know you've had to come into my office sometimes and into other offices. You did it without us ever having to break our concentration or move on to the next task. So I really want to thank you for your professionalism and for the constant oversight that you had in our district. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
and she just informed me that she became the, you gotta say it, she just got recognized. Please let him know.
She's shy. I know that already.
Make it quick.
All right, I'm officially in the 2025-2027 president of the Rutgers Engineering Alumni Board for my school. So I'll be working with the School of Engineering Dean and my Board of Alumni to make sure that we have a high engagement with our new alums, old alums, and current students.
Well, I'm hoping that you get involved with some of our students and give them other opportunities that they can look into for their future as well. So thank you so much.
No problem.
I have So thank you very much.
Thank you again.
And good luck, and it was a pleasure, truly, and honestly, what I said at the beginning, these type of projects, especially interacting with a capital project, especially after years of not doing a project, it requires attention, willingness to succeed, and I want to say just, we didn't talk maybe 5 times through the life of this project, 6 times when we needed to, but because the leadership and the staff and the admins and the administration were on it, it just is a really good experience. So thank you, good luck, and congratulations on
Thank
your next
you.
move.
And keep an eye on my district.
I sure will. Victor talks to me all the time. I see him every month, and we talk about things, and he asks me how things are going.
I
So,
leave you in good hands. I know I do.
and it's a pleasure to be here at this
and
district. Thank you.
I'm glad the students deserve this and whatever else we can do for them. So thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Ahmed, don't leave yet, okay? Don't walk out. I need
Okay.
to say something to you. All right, so my final presentation of the evening is really to go back to my favorite subject, to really speak to, and I know Dr. Dashner has worked with Mr. Allison, we converted from one math program to the next. And as a result, after 2 years now, almost, we want to see where we were and how we're doing now. And part of that is how the teachers are feeling in regard to the instruction. So, Mr. Allison.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. And I know this has been a very math-heavy night. I'm very excited, so I will try to keep my remarks and comments concise, and then leave enough time for any questions that anyone may have. So first off, good evening. I would like to first start off by thanking the Board of Education for the opportunity to give an update to math education in the elementary schools as it more specifically relates to the Big Ideas math program. Additionally, I'd like to just say a wonderful thank you to the Central Office leadership team led by Dr. Rihanna, Dr. Dashner, Mr. DiNapoli, and Mrs. Khan for their support and foresight in allowing us to continue to invest in the Big Ideas math program. And finally, I would be remiss if I did not thank the teachers, the building administrators, and my predecessor, Mrs. Cassandra Shannon, and most importantly, the families and the students of Glen Cove. A little over a year ago, specifically on February 7th, 2024, I had the opportunity to present to the board the Big Ideas math program. And central to that presentation was the rigor that this program offered. The reinforcement of conceptual understanding, procedural and skill fluency, and why we really picked this program was because of its real-world setting and its focal tenets to why, it is a focal tenet to why we picked the program. I ended my presentation that night by talking about the 3 R's that we all learned as kids growing up, which were reading, writing, and arithmetic. But I did pose to you that the Big Ideas program helped us as educators and a district reimagine those 3 R's to be rigor, relationships, and relevance. And that's where I'd like to start our presentation this year. Just a little bit about me first so you can understand why I have such a passion for this program. I spent most of my classroom educational time on the secondary level as a math teacher and also a building administrator in the high school. But when I had my own kids, my focus turned to primary and elementary education. I realized very quickly that really was the lifeblood of secondary mathematics, that the education and student growth and love of math was built on their ability to believe in their skills, to see their engagement in the course and content, and their capacity to have fun. While albeit, learning new concepts and giving them an opportunity to grow, many people will say that student growth and student ascertainment comes from practicing and drilling. And that is probably the furthest from true. Yes, those are components that help us, but the reality is our students do learn differently than we do, and they face different challenges. It is proven that a person that connects with their learning and the content is more apt to remember, recall, and apply what they have learned in new situations. And because of this, a student that learns to problem solve, and as Dr. Rihanna pointed out, the ability to take apart things and put things back together gives them the ability to not only learn to do one particular task, but to learn many different particular tasks, no matter what the assignment or, whether what the assignment or task is. There are direct correlations between what and how educators present their students and a student's or a young person's capacity to succeed. The method of exploratory learning combined with the challenging and enjoyment opens up a young person's mind to curiosity, growth, and limitless progress. What you see up on the slide is a little bit of the information of what Go Math was and what Big Ideas Math is. And if you notice very clearly, there are many similar tenets to them. The big glaring difference that I see and that our teachers see, that our students see, and that our family sees is the enhanced online digital platform, the multi-language ability it provides for our students. And I don't just mean language in English and Spanish. The program allows language for every student, no matter what their home language is, whether it's Haitian Creole, whether it's Spanish, whether it's Urdu. It provides it all very easily accessible for our students, and importantly, for our parents to be able to provide the support for their child. What I will share this evening is a clear indication of how our teachers and students are seeing constant forward growth and progress. What I want you to take away from the data that I will show you is not the number necessarily, but the trend and trajectory that it shows for our students and our families. The data you will see on the next slide are pulled from our individual chapter assessments that are aligned to the New York State learning standards for next generation math. And with these assessments, what our students are seeing and feeling is a sense of success, a sense of, I can do this. What we're reimagining is no longer the term, I'm not a math student, I'm not a math person. What this program allows our students and our families are to see their sons and daughters and their grandchildren be able to succeed in math. So I'm going to show you some information, and what I'm going to do is I broke it up into our K-1-2, our 3, 4, 5 buildings. And once again, what I said is not the number, but look at the trajectory. And what we're talking about in Big Math, Go Math and Big Ideas is they are very similar. But what we are seeing is our students are seeing progress. Now, I know everyone wants to see large growth, but the reality behind it is growth is growth. Movement does happen with our students, albeit whether it's 1 percentage point or 2 percentage points. Remember, that percentage point equates to a larger number of students. What I'm going to show you now is our 3 to 5, and very similar, as you can see, where we were and where we are is constant forward motion, constant growth with our students. One of the most powerful things that I get an opportunity to do when I go down to the elementary buildings are seeing our students playing math games. Math can be fun. And our teachers and this program have found a way to make math fun. It's not just sitting there drilling and practicing a problem. It's playing a game. Whether it's our first in math students playing the game of 24 to find fact fluency and mathematical connections between things. And the best part about it is our students are enjoying what they're doing. Not because the program is any easier, but because it makes practical, relevant, and relatable, makes it relatable to the students. The program provides the teacher with a ton of strategies that they can use, whether it's skill builder activities, meaning that they can give their child or the students in their classroom an targeted instruction where there are certain skills that might be deficient, and they can send it to the student on either their iPad, their Chromebook, and say, here are tasks that will help reinforce the skills that you need to practice or that you need to work on. Additionally, there are videos embedded in the instruction, not just in the classroom, in the dynamic world that they're doing, but also in the online platforms for the parents to be able to see. The parents can watch the same video so that they can see what their child has learned in class and also be able to provide them with the resources to help them. One of the big dilemmas that we and a number of other districts have faced is the participation in the New York State 3 through 8 testing. The problem is not mutually exclusive to Glen Cove, but one of the factors that we know has a direct correlation to participation is the student's comfort level and the parents' input on what that impact is on their child's emotional well-being. When a student enjoys something and feels and sees success, they look to challenge themselves and they become comfortable to show that off. To that end, what you will notice on the next slide is that, once again, not looking at the number, but looking at the trend and trajectory, our district, New York State 3 through 8 test participation levels are increasing. So if you look at where we were in 2023 to where we are in 2025, what we've seen at the 3 through 5 levels, we've seen almost a 7% jump in the number of students participating and taking the New York State assessment. That's phenomenal. And if you look at it, on average, we're talking somewhere about 90% to 93% of our students that are participating in 3 through 8 testing. We have a goal of 95%. And if you look at those numbers, we're pretty darn close to them. And that's only with now 1 year, or excuse me, 2 years, completing 2 years now of this Big Ideas program. And I say it with passion that it's because of this program that students are feeling comfortable. They're not questioning their abilities as much. They feel comfortable and the parents feel comfortable to see their children sit and take this assessment, to prove and show off their skills to the state. And as you can see, it has a ripple effect, not only in our elementary buildings, but on our secondary buildings, where the growth is even larger. Now, some of you may look at the 8th grade number and say, ooh, that's very low. But I want to point out one thing. In our 8th grade, there's a large percentage of our students that take the algebra regents. So that number precludes those students because they do not sit for the New York State assessment and the regents exam. But even still, if you look at where we were in 23 to 25, it is a phenomenal growth in 2 years of the participation of our students in 8th grade. And most of what I've shown you are barometers that we can point to from internal data, where it's chapter assessments. I've given you a glimpse of an external piece, meaning the 3 through 8 testing. But there's another external tool that we use in the district. It's the Renaissance Star program. And just to ensure that we all have an understanding of what the Renaissance Star is and represents, I'm going to share a brief little explanation. The Renaissance Star testing program is a series of computer adaptive assessments designed to measure student progress, student achievement, and growth. It's grade specific, it's adaptive, meaning that the difficulty of the questions adjust based on the student's previous answers. So that's a big key component that's different between our internal chapter assessments. And once again, it's a grade specific. Why is this an important tool? Because it monitors our students' progress. It identifies for the teachers the ability to see learning gaps and to target that instruction so that we can help the students improve their skills and their comfort level with the math. On this next slide, I'm going to show you the data that shows student growth based relative to grade level equivalency. And what we did here with these numbers that I'm going to show you, it's across the grade level. It's not building specific, so it's an average of all the students that sat for the exam. What you will see in the grade level is on each grade level, you will see indicators that shows how much the students have instructionally grown from the fall to the spring. And this is a performance comparison which is relative not to students in Glen Cove necessarily, not to students just in New York State. It is nationally. So this Renaissance Star program does not just take the microcosm of Glen Cove or microcosm of Nassau County, it's a national assessment. To understand what you will see, a grade equivalency of 1 means that their comparable grade growth is that of the next grade level. So if we see a grade level, and I'll give you an example. Okay, that's where we are, but I'm going to give you an example. An example is if we had a third grader that had an average growth grade equivalency of 1, what that basically means is that that particular student or that growth is that they're performing on the level of a fourth grader, okay? So what you see here is where our students are performing. So the maximum that we really can see is a 1.0 growth. Means that if a third grader has a 1.0, they're actually performing tasks of a fourth grader, okay? Where you see we are is that we've grown, okay? It's astronomical in our fourth graders. Some of you may ask and look at our fifth grade numbers. That marginal difference is a nominal 0.1. It could be the number of students that took the assessment. One thing to note specifically in our fifth grade, the Renaissance Star is not given in the native language of Spanish. It is only given in English. So there is some fluctuation there because on the other grade levels, our students do take it in third and fourth grade, where there is a star math in Spanish. What I want to also point out is, and similar to the other data, the trend is showing upward growth. So as you can see, I'm trying to encapsulate what we're seeing, and what I want to point out is this is not possible by one person. I cannot take credit. No one teacher can take credit. It is a big effort, but I think that it can clearly be tied to the student comfort level with the Big Ideas Math program. What does this all mean? Well, this means that the critical items that we are focused on as a district, we're making progress and we're getting closer. And those are to increase fact fluencies and expand numeracy associations for our students. The state just recently put out briefs about numeracy and where they see our students needing growth and where we should be looking to see success. No one person, as I said before, can take credit. This is a group effort. And once again, I would like to acknowledge all the players that have made this happen. First and foremost, I cannot stop thanking the teachers. Some of the things that, you talk about teachers in terms of they are the impact to our children. You may ask why with Go Math we saw 85%, and with Big Ideas we see 87 or 88%. It's because our teachers have been giving their heart out from day one, no matter what the program is. Each teacher, that child is someone else, has someone else as their parent, but that teacher feels that that child is theirs and pours a lot of heart and soul to see that child succeed. It's not just the teacher, it's the classroom support staff. It's the student themselves. It's the family members that day in and day out work hard to see their students possibly succeed, see the students' possible success. And I would be totally remiss if I did not once again thank the Board of Education. You believed in this idea that was brought to you. You bought into this idea and allowed the district to expand our digital platform and provide our students with this program. I would like to also thank Dr. Rihanna and Dr. Doshner. because without you and all the other administrative staff, what our teachers are able to do and impart to our families would not be possible. I ask for something, they find a way to make it happen. I just have one final thought. And that one final thought is basic and simple. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. We don't need to look for the big wins every day. Take solace in every one little step forward we take. And because of that, I'm extremely happy to report that the state of math education in the district is solid and moving in the right direction. Thank you once again for your time, and I will take any questions that you may have at this point.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. No fighting.
Thank you so much for this presentation. It really was very well presented, and I thank you. I just have a question in regards to the STAR exam, the STAR
Correct.
assessment. You said that it wasn't given in Spanish, but it's now going to be given in Spanish, or?
No, at the 5th grade level,
Okay.
Spanish is not offered for that assessment. That is a decision that was made by the Renaissance. It has nothing to do with the district
Okay.
deciding to or not. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
We have started speaking and finding out why, to try and get them to push, because there is a number of students that would benefit from that. As you can see, even not giving it in Spanish, if you looked at the growth, it was still 0.9, so almost a full growth, one grade level growth, even without it being in their native language. I take credit and solace in knowing that our students, even if it's not in their native language, the teachers are providing them the skills and the ability to feel comfortable in take it. We had the algebra regions, and very similar to the STAR, the exam is given in English and Spanish. Most students, and I just compiled and sent it to OSC World, most of our students, even though they are given a test in Spanish, they practice their English skills and they end up replying. So I sent to OSC World for the Regents exam 35 Spanish tests. We have a lot more students that speak Spanish in this district, but the teachers, our ENL, world language teachers and math teachers, give them the comfortability to know that they can answer that assessment in math. Math is universal no matter what language.
No, that's very comforting. Also, how often do our teachers get professional development with this program? Because I'm assuming that it changes from
Yeah,
time to time.
We have a contract with Big Ideas Program. They provide us every year with professional development. So this year we did in September, we rolled out the dynamic classroom to them and gave them modules on, gave them the ability to do individual professional development during Superintendent's Conference Day. But I will tell you, my goal and my method of working with our teachers, I go down, I work with individual teachers, with Big Ideas trainers, to give them the individual skills. Why? Because pulling that teacher out of the classroom upsets two things. That teacher is worried about where their students are performing without them being there, and the students are missing their teacher. So on the teacher's prep or free time, I'm usually down there, or I go down to the classrooms with them and figure out what it is they would like to explore or introduce to their students. I actually worked with Ms. Gordon last year, at the beginning of the year, and I learned something totally new about math in terms of showing our kids how to do the box. It was the box method of multiplication. 30 in one box, 2 in the other box, 20 in this box, and how multiplication and addition, it was great to see that. So the professional development is offered annually for our teachers. I will say this, we could always use more professional development, but they want to be in the classroom. So we find a great balance between working with the math alignment members, myself, and Big Ideas to provide them the necessary professional development. No, not a problem. And I know there was one addition. Oh, okay. I was prepared for 4 more questions, at least. Anyone? No? Okay. Well, thank you once
Thank you,
again for the
Mr. Allison.
opportunity to present.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. And that is the superintendent's report this evening. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move on to the student board member report.
Good evening, everyone. Over the past few weeks, it's been an exciting and celebratory time at our high school as we've ended the school year. Last Thursday, several high school students had the opportunity to go down to Daisy School to help out with their field day, which was a fun and rewarding experience for all involved. At our own high school, we've been honoring the achievements of our students through a series of ceremonies. Both underclassmen and upperclassmen were recognized for their academic and extracurricular accomplishments, along with special events such as the Sports Awards, Senior Music Awards, and Honor Society inductions. Last Friday was our final day of regular instruction, and seniors got to celebrate with a barbecue organized with the help of our amazing custodial staff, administration, parents, and teachers. There were ping pong tables, foosball, and air hockey too, and it turned into a really fun and relaxed afternoon. Seniors spent the time hanging out, playing games, and walking around getting yearbooks signed. It was a great way to be together one last time before graduation and mark the end of our high school journey in a meaningful, lighthearted way. Looking ahead, prom will take place next Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Floral Terrace. Tickets, you can still buy them for $110 at the main office if you haven't gotten it yet until this Friday. And graduation will follow that Friday, the 27th at 6 p.m. As this is our final board meeting of the year, I would just like to thank the Board of Education for giving me this opportunity to serve as the student representative. It's been an honor to share our school's accomplishments with you, and I'm truly grateful for the experience and the flowers. Thank you. And I want to congratulate Dr. Doshner on her future as a superintendent and wish you the best of luck. And to Dr. Rihanna, I'd just like to thank you for everything you've done through all the years. And I know you, me, and Elias, our vice president, had this conversation about how you started as a superintendent around the same time we entered kindergarten, and now we're all leaving together. So it's like we're all graduating at the same time. And I'd just like to thank you for everything you've done in making my experience here really great. So thank you.
Thank you as well.
Okay, so we're moving on to our first public participation.
Can I just, I wanted to take a second just to, I wanted to take a moment as my term draws to a close, and I just wanted to say how much I have loved serving on the board, serving my kids, my community in an official capacity, particularly during such an exciting time. It just has been a joyful honor. It's really lifted my heart to be able to give back to Glen Cove and to our kids. My brood and I, me, my husband, and my 6 kids, we got here nigh unto 20 years ago. And I hit the ground running. From the very beginning, I was welcomed and ushered in and mentored by OG moms like Antoinette Palomo and Maria Philippone and Maria Philippone, who were affectionately known as Maria Squared. And, you know, and then one day, all of a sudden, and I want to say it started with the kids in Select Corral, I was Mama James, which was kind of a perfect fit because by that time, I was just calling all of Glen Cove's kids my kids. So yeah, Mama James. Just thank you so much for having me. I just, you know, please know this, because I have had people say, oh, you know, I heard you didn't want to run. Somebody told me that you didn't want to come back. And I was like, no, that's not what happened. I'm sure some of you saw me knocking on doors and stopping people on the street, or signed my petition with Lydia, the librarian. It was a matter of the clerical administrative thing that popped off, and I didn't have time, just didn't allow me to correct it. And that is the only reason why my name wasn't on the ballot. I would have loved to have run again. So I just wanted to take a moment again to say thank you and how much this has meant to me. And although I won't be occupying this seat
when the new school year starts, I will still be here, and I will still be Mama James. So thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Lynn. Okay, so we were about to do public participation on agenda items. If anybody has questions, they can come up and sign in with Ida. Please give her your name and address, and then when you come to the podium, let us know your name and street.
Good evening. My name is Luz Hurtado, 9 4th Street. I just have a question regarding the Big Ideas math program. Do the kids with disabilities participate as well?
Is that the only question you have?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Okay. As a mother, how would I be able to know my son's progress or anything, to show me that he did participate? Because I've never seen these programs at home. I heard all his presentation, and it's amazing how parents can participate, and I never have seen anything like that.
So what I would ask you to do is either speak with Mr. Allison or call the school, speak with the teacher and/or the principal, and they will give you that information.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You have to sign in for just.
I did.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Shanira. I live on 78 Cottage Road. This is a little off topic from everything that's been going on, but you've been speaking about trust, okay? So my son was physically assaulted on a bus. He got punched in his face. Sorry, it makes me very emotional, right? So for almost 3 years, we've been fighting with the district, have spoken to you as well,
Okay.
about
This might be the kind of topic that's more appropriate to talk about directly, because the problem is that we're not supposed to talk about specific students in the public
No,
meeting.
but it's not a Pacific student. I'm just trying to figure out what change can be done for kids that's autistic, that they can feel safe instead of being bullied. Because we also had the bus driver and bus matron, not giving names, falsified their documentation on reports that was not true and had cops calls on my son over situations that had never happened. And then I emailed because I didn't know what to do, who to speak to, because I've been speaking to the director, and she kept saying, it's out of my hand. I'm sorry, it's out of my hand. So I wrote to the state. Yeah, guys, felt his IEP because he'd been missing school because of this. No, I'm not finished. You kept mentioning trust. Trust is broken when your kid is not safe. And then I emailed you in December and told you everything what happened, asked what to do. You emailed me back and said you was going to look into it. Never heard anything back. So we finally had a meeting with you, and you made me sit there, explain everything to you as if you didn't know what happened. So I'm saying to myself while I'm sitting there, I'm like, I've spoken to her. I feel like I heard this name before. So you said when you go home, send the documentation to you of everything that happened. I did. Still no change. You said y'all guys removed the bus driver and bus matron because, now let's just say if the cops was called and something happened to my son, what was y'all going to do? I'm only speaking because it's been going on 3 years. Nothing has changed. The bus and my son is still on the same bus together. No change. He's been harassing my son going on 3 years. And you sit here and tell me y'all can't do nothing about the bus? So sorry if this is off topic, but I felt like y'all been sweeping under the rug and I haven't gotten no help. None. Y'all felt his IEP, and guess what? Now he doesn't feel safe on a bus, so now he has Paris that doesn't come to work. So he can't get on a bus some days, so he missed school. So how is they protected? Y'all sit here and talk about trust, united. Maybe everyone didn't have the issue that I have, but it haven't been welcoming for me and my kids, not even my daughter. When a girl told her she couldn't play with her because of the color of her skin. And then recently this year, some boy threatened to kill her. So what are y'all going to do about the changes? Because stuff gets swept under the rug and nothing changed, nothing. And everything is a paper trail, everything. So I've been emailing, speaking to people, sending documentation of when my son called me bleeding from his nose. And then the bus driver going to tell me my son had a mental breakdown. We had the detectives play the 911 recording. They called 911 at 9:20. My son was assaulted at 9:10. I even showed the director my call log for everything that happened. And the detective told me to get a lawyer. But I'm sitting here doing everything by the books, hoping that you guys will make some changes. And nothing has changed. Every day my life has been a nightmare that something is going to happen to my son on the bus. And then come to find out the bus driver and the bus matron hired another student to work on the bus to put his hands on other kids, and they covered it up and made it seem like these kids was having a mental breakdown. So I'm so sorry if this is off topic, but this needed to be heard, and I am hurt. My son is scared of his life. And everybody should be treated equal. I hear all the good stuff. I'm happy. I'm happy that there's so much changes, but what is going to happen with the kids with special needs? What is their protection from being bullied and harassed by the people that y'all hired? I mean, y'all kept telling me, oh, it's a third-party company. So what happened when the bus was on the school ground and the little boy threatened to kill my son? Nothing happened. Nothing. And the bus driver and bus matron lied again. It took the school to say they think it's something going on with the bus driver and matron between my son. Still nothing changed. I'm here, hoping somebody will hear me, hoping that there will be some type of change where kids are safe. Because you kept saying trust, and it was killing me back there. Because yes, I want to trust y'all. Y'all have my kids. I used to work for the Board of Education. So I understand your protocols is different from out there. But when kids are being bullied, your staff are lying on documentation that you can use in court, that becomes an issue. It becomes an issue. Something has to change because all y'all did was take the bus driver and the bus matron off his bus and put them on another bus so they can do that to another kid. Where's the cycle's going to end? It's going to take what? For somebody to physically get hurt. And I mean, not just punched in the face for change. And that's all I have to say.
Mrs. Sturton, I can't speak about this in public, but I will contact you.
Sure, you said that last time. This is why I'm here. But it's okay. Nothing will change. Let's go.
This is really mundane to follow that, but Janet Blatt, McGrady Street, Glen Cove. On the agenda, there are budget transfers mentioned. I'd like to know from what the money is being transferred and where it's being put and what it's going to be used for.
So there's one transfer for $25,000 that's going into our home tutoring code to cover students that we are tutoring at home. And then the second transfer
Where is
is,
that first one coming? Where is the money coming from?
where is it coming from? We're taking it from the special ed teacher code for Gribbon School because we had a little excess in there.
Okay.
The second transfer is for $16,500. That's going into the electric code for the high school. With the additional work that we've been doing there, obviously electricity has been used more, so we need that to cover the bills through the end of the year. And we're taking that from district coordinators, which had, again, some excess.
Okay, I also had a question, I just remembered, about the $450,000 that's supposed to come to the district from the federal government. That the gentleman said would still be coming despite the serious problems of money getting into school districts from the federal government these days. Will that money, if in fact the district really sees it, go into other things that are part of the proposed program or the continuation of the contract? Or is that just going to go into a general fund and be used elsewhere?
That money will come to the district in a check, so it will be recorded in as revenue for the district. It does not affect the project at all.
That's not my question.
All right, so that check comes to the district. It is recorded, obviously, as revenue to the district, monies that we received that are positive, and then it goes into a general fund, and from there, the monies are used as any budget figure would be based on what the board decides to use certain monies for certain projects for, okay? So it goes into a general fund received as revenue. And then it's determined, just like all other monies, at the end of the school year as to where those monies are put in any of our reserves or in rollover money. Janet, I need you to ask all the questions, though, that you have, because we don't usually do a back and forth.
It's not just an ending comment on this. It just seems to me that if money comes in from, because of the value of the project that, contract that you entered into with the company, that money, whether it goes into that or other capital budget expenditures, it seems to me that that's where that $450,000 should go. I mean, my opinion doesn't really count, but it just seems to me it's coming from that, and it should go into either what that company is doing for us, things that we need still, or other capital budget expenditures that we will need, because you can't just do everything that's been done over these last many years and think that that's it and that we can get away with not doing anything else forever, which is how the district ran before that. Thank you.
We're moving on to instructional report.
Based on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 7 on the instructional report A, Committee on Special Education, and B, Committee on Preschool Special Education.
Can I get a motion? Angela and Ann, all in favor? 7. Okay, and then we have business affairs.
Based on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 8B, Operations, numbers 1 through 6.
Motion, Maureen and Leah, any questions? All in favor? 7. Okay, personnel?
Based on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 9A Certified, 1 through 14.
Motion, Ann and Megan. Any questions? No. All in favor? 7.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve agenda item 9B classified, 1 through 5.
Motion. Ann and Angela, all in favor? 7. Okay, so now we have unfinished business policy number 41, second reading. Oh, what's wrong? Did I-
Sorry, no,
Oh.
so tonight, the resolutions that were just passed included staff who demonstrated knowledge, experience, commitment to students, and they joined us here tonight. So just want to share 2 of our new staff members who are joining our team. So first, our Assistant Director of Special Education, Nicole Marduk, is here with us tonight.
Okay.
Nicole, welcome.
Welcome, yeah.
And one of our new special education elementary teachers, Gabrielle Albee, is also here in attendance tonight.
Okay. Welcome. Right.
Welcome, both of you, to the Glen Cove community and the Glen Cove family. Believe me, we'll get into your hearts very, very quickly, but welcome aboard.
All right. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so back to policy. We're on a second reading on policy 4531. Anybody on policy want to say anything, or does anybody have questions? This policy is regarding, right? Does Andrew want to talk?
So this is a second reading of the policy regarding field trips and excursions, and the big piece of updating this policy really was to really represent and support the newer trips that now include those international trips that were just taken this past school year, and kind of just putting in a couple of other clarifiers and updates that talk about the process when it comes to chaperones and chaperone selection and such. So we met as a policy committee recently, took the feedback from that first read and applied that feedback, and that's what informed the second read.
Okay. Well, you guys want to approve it?
And
Go ahead.
so I think there's going to be a third reading for this policy because
Oh.
this one now has new revisions for that first read.
Oh, I
So
see.
I'm
Okay.
going to have this slated for July 2nd as a third read for, to be recommended for approval.
Okay. All right, so we'll see it on the next, well, next school years. Right? Yes, okay. All right, so then we have another policy under new business. This is 2245. This is a new policy. Can you introduce it to us? Somebody? Andrew? Or anybody else who wants to speak?
So this policy really follows suit with what the district has already been conducting. So the new requirement for all districts is to have a student member of the board. Glen Cove was ahead of the curve in terms of that process. This policy really just outlines that process. All districts are required to have this policy at the start of the school year. What this policy outlines is really what is entailed in the school district requiring a student member of the board, as well as the selection process. So for the 26-27 school year, the selection process will be a student member of the board being duly elected by the student body. Policy committee, what we've discussed is there will probably be not probably, there's going to be a regulation policy that's going to be connected to this policy that really outlines a description as to what does that selection process entail. We're going to be advised from the building in terms of what the criteria looks like, the selection process looks like. We aim to have everything finalized by the fall, so that way we can, the building has the opportunity to share and communicate with the student body ahead of the 26-27 school year.
So just to clarify my understanding of this too, we're going to move to a process where we appoint, or rather the students elect a specific representative as the student board member, as opposed to the method we're using now, which is just to have that as a responsibility of the president, like Isabel is. So, but this would not go into effect until 20.
Right, because we felt that we didn't have enough time, well, the kids.
No.
Right, they wouldn't have enough
Which is fine, 'cause
time.
they've
to-
already had their
right,
election, and
right.
that the understanding is, okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
But having this policy for next year wouldn't really change anything. It would really be the regulation, how how that person is voted in, is the part that would really apply to the following year, correct?
So the language in this policy, under the category of qualifications, it does have a statement as to the selection is duly elected by the student body, but there's, to your point, there's going to be more information in the regulation that's going to outline what that looks like and what that entails.
Anybody have, oh, go ahead, sure.
I just want to comment on the ability for, Isabel, thank you so much for having someone come in when you were not available. Elias was wonderful to have as your backup, and it allowed us to have a more consistency in the information. So it's our third year that you have a student member, and each year things get a little better. We just, can keep reflecting on how we can make the process better. So I look forward to seeing what the future will bring. But Isabel, thank you for all that you have done.
Okay, so I guess we'll see this policy on a future meeting agenda. Oh, we are voting? No, it's a first reading. It's okay. All right, so board comments, does anybody have anything to share?
I just wanted to congratulate the graduates because I'm not going to be at graduation. So I'm sorry, I have a family graduation out of state, so I just wanted to say I'm sorry that I'm going to miss it this year, but it's been a great year. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the graduates. Isabel, thank you for sitting here through all these meetings and your participation and letting us know what's going on in the buildings.
I also wanted to add on that front to thank Isabel and Elias that, and because some nights I know you're here, it's like late and anyway. And not to put you and Elias on the spot, but to the extent, that there's like ways we could better integrate this role or things that you think worked or didn't work, please let us know. And, because we didn't experience it, so please let us know and let us know what we can do to make it a little bit, a little better.
Okay. I wanted to just share that related to the policy for chaperones and stuff, I was thinking about that because I had the great pleasure of being able to follow the kids to London because my daughter's part of the select crowd, but I just wanted to thank the teachers because I know they worked really hard. It was just in terms of supervising the kids and, it was like a long day and they, saw a lot of stuff, but it just, that made it possible basically to do it. And Mr. Norris's dedication to the kids, so thank you for that. Okay, so anybody, okay, didn't want to miss anybody. Public participation, we have another section. If anybody has questions or comments, please come forward and sign in. You have 3 minutes.
Janet Blatt, McGrady Street, Glen Cove. I have thought long and hard about what I was going to use these few minutes with. Putting aside anything else that I was going to ask, and despite any disagreements we have had and fierce arguments we have had, Maria, I want to thank you for the 12 years that you have given to the children of this district. This district, both the physical plant and, for the most part, education, is so much superior to what we had before you showed up 12 years ago that I could not let this time go without saying thank you 1,000,000 times over. It can't be easy, and I'm sure I've made it worse. But the talents that you bring to this job are not something that this district has experienced before. It's a vast array of abilities that the superintendent needs to have. And you brought those talents to us, having had the experience in other districts where you learned what should be done and what shouldn't be done. Again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Janet, thank you so much. Like I said, it had to be done together, and I really look forward to the next steps in Glen Cove, because I have faith in the people that are here and that are moving forward. And Alexa, you have a lot to, of a vision for the future, and I'm sure that with the help of all of your community and your administrators and your teachers and and the staff, and I'm not ready to give them up yet, I got 4 more days, but with the help of all this district can do, I'm sure we will continue to hear great things. So good luck to you and good luck to all of you. And thank you again for the opportunity to serve this community, because it has really been a very significant part of my life, and significant work that I've done with them together. So thank you.
Okay. On that, I think we are done with our meeting, but I just wanted to thank Glen Cove TV students and Mr. Barry for recording and streaming our meeting tonight, and I want to wish everybody a happy summer, and we'll see you back here soon, probably. All right, be well. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Motion. Maureen and Leah, all in favor? Okay, over and out.